the number one question that so many people ask is, how did you do it? What software do you use? What are your prompts? And so in this video, I'm going to go step by step through how I made the vein root. If you haven't seen it, it's about a parasite. It's a psychological horror story about a parasite. If you haven't seen it, I'll leave a link, and I'll also put it down in the description as well. So I'll guide you through how I use MidJourney, ChatGPT, Kling, Topaz, and Premiere Pro to put together that video. And then hopefully you'll be able to follow along, and let me know if you think of any questions. If there's something that I've missed out, if you want me to go deeper into something, let me know in the comments. I try and read all of them. I try and respond to them, whether it's through a video or in my stories in Instagram. And make sure to subscribe and hit the bell button so you know when the next one comes out. And let's get into it. Now, I start off in MidJourney. I've always had this idea of hands becoming creatures, and I thought, well, what's the story behind it? And I always, as you know, I always love the idea of parasites taking over. And so we start off in MidJourney. I like using prompts like grotesque, aged. That helps with the textures. Wrinkles, protruding, vine-like tendrils. The hand is raised in a stopping gesture. So I wanna pose it because I'm thinking of the thumbnail on YouTube. I'm thinking of something that will literally grab the viewer's attention. The hand is raised in a stopping gesture, with the background being a plain muted color. I don't really want to focus too much on the atmosphere at this stage. I just want to focus on the textures of the skin, the look of the creatures, and focus on the story behind them. Why do they look like that? What are they up to? What's the story behind them? The figure is partially obscured, wearing a tattered, light-coloured shirt. I like the idea of putting clothes on these creatures at the moment, because when you add things like clothes or jewelry or accessories, it helps to add to the mystery of it, because we want to know why are they wearing a t-shirt? What's the story behind that? So we explore deeper, we go in deeper. We want to add some faces. So then I add some faces to these creatures. The way I do it is add hints of uncanny human face in the palm. And it gave me these. Then I want to start thinking about making it into widescreen. I want these stories to be 16:9 because I want people to fill their screen with it if they're watching it on TV. And then I go from there. Once I find some good ones, some ones that I want to explore further, whether they've got a face, they've got an expression, they've got some teeth that I like, or they've got some eyes, then I will do variations of those, and so on. These ones I start off at 9:16 because I want to get the pose right. I want them to be standing, and then I will expand them out. I'll use the editor function. So let me show you quickly. If I go to this one, I can go to the editor and then hit 16:9, and then it will give me 16:9 versions of those. That keeps the subject in the middle and in the pose that I want it. And here you can see some versions of 16:9s that were created from 9:16s. And so we cycle through them. We add prompts leaning into what we want to see more of, like aged or wrinkles or disease. I'm keeping it less gory at this stage because I want to stay monetized on YouTube. And if we go too gory, then my videos end up getting demonetized. So I wanted to explore something that's like a psychological horror for this one. And so we keep going. This one would be a good one. Then, next step, once we've got the images from MidJourney, I will then drop that into ChatGPT. Now, dropped about 5 of the creatures into ChatGPT, and I asked ChatGPT, can you tell me the story behind these fellas? They're a type of creature. On this channel, I want to stay focused on creatures and the design behind creatures. And I like to follow the lead of the AI. So it will tell me one story that it thinks, what does it think these creatures are? And I work from there. Then I wanted to go through the parasitic biological route. I love biology. I'm fascinated by it. So it will tell me what it thinks is going on. The infection process, the initial symptoms, the transformation stage, the final stage. Then I ask it to make this into a voiceover. Tell me the story. And then I want it to be at least 8 minutes. 15. I want it to have a slow pace, a slow, eerie feel about it. ChatGPT's been an absolute game changer for this workflow. So here is the story. One of the stories. It's an iterative process. I'll see things I like and I'll expand those. I'll see things that I'm not feeling, doesn't quite vibe with me, and I'll take those out. This one, wanted to keep it as a psychological horror. Once I've got all those images, I'll download 50 of them from MidJourney and put them all in a folder. Now, my filing system it's getting there in terms of organization. I think there's a little bit room for improvement. What I like about Gigapixel is I can just drag all of the images and drop them into Gigapixel. And then I can set what I want them to be, and then I can just hit export, and then it will just batch export all of them. I found the standard, let me make this full screen. I found that standard worked best for what I wanted. I had a look at Artlist CG, and I felt that it made it a little bit too almost animated. So I stuck with standard, and then I left everything else as it was and hit export, and each one took seconds. So fast. Very happy with how fast it is. Now, while Topaz is upscaling, I will be in Premiere and I'll be looking for a soundtrack that I feel that would help the atmosphere. And I use the Artlist plugin for that, which it's really helpful because you can just drag and you don't have to leave Premiere, you can stay in the flow and drag and drop, and it has the entire Artlist library in there. You can browse, you can search for what you're looking for and find exactly what you want, and it helps with my pacing and my timing when I'm reading the script. It helps me to put more emotion into my voice. With my reading and script writing and emotion and stuff, I think the more I do it, the better I'll get at it. I feel like when I look back, I'm feeling a lot more comfortable on the camera and jumping on and reading these scripts. Yeah, like anything, it's practice. But it definitely helps. Having that music in my ear as I'm reading really helps me to put across the emotion that I want the person watching to feel. Now, once I've got all the images from Topaz Gigapixel, I will then I'll start dropping them into Kling. Here is one. I keep my prompts quite basic in Kling. I find that the more I add to it, each generation can be quite different. So if I've added too much to one prompt, and then I want to repeat a movement, then I don't know which part of the prompt made that movement happen. So if I want to refine it, the more I've added to the prompt, the more confused it can make me when it comes to trying to recreate that look. So here the prompt was real simple. It was the creature gasps and wobbles. I do think Kling has a little bit of a way to go in understanding creatures that are not like creatures that are not humanoid. So as you can see, my settings are just 5 with creativity and relevance. It's just in the middle. I keep them 5 second. 10 second it is just does the same thing. For me, it does the same thing, but just makes it take longer. So it's even more slow-mo than what you're seeing here. So I didn't really want too much going on. I just wanted subtle movement, subtle little jitters and wobbles and gasps and yawns and things like that. Then, once I've got about 50 of those, I will download them. I don't know if there's a way for us to batch download. That would be really helpful, Kling, if you're watching, if we can batch download them. And because each one you have to hover over this and you have to go download without watermark, which is takes a long time. So if there's a way, I'm sure there'll be an update for that coming soon. I used 1.6 for this because I found that the quality is really high with 1.6. Next step is upscaling all of the videos that we downloaded from Kling, and we're going to do that in Topaz Video AI. What I love about this as well is I can just drag and drop all of them into here, and I can batch them all. So each one I will do each one I will do 4K. I want to use Raya. Raya is best for creatures because it does skin and hair and scales and things really well. And everything else I don't really touch. I'll keep it to 60. I don't want to do slow motion for this. I use Chronos, frame rate conversions, and then I'll save them to the same folder. It will save them under the same file name and just add Raya 1 on the end, so it's quite easy to sort it out later. I don't think at this stage there's a way to, if you're batching, you can't export it into a different folder. That would be a useful feature to have, because at the moment you have to save it into the same folder and then move them later. Now Topaz Video AI just does require a bit of a beast of a machine. I think each 5-second clip from Kling in Topaz took about 9 minutes, something like that. So I left it overnight to do, and then when I come back in the morning I check them all, make sure they're all good, and then I will record the VO. That's all laid straight into Premiere. That is the A-roll. Now once the A-roll is done and it's all chopped up, like I've taken out any mistakes and ums and ahs and bits that silences or things that are in there that I don't want, then I will lay the upscaled videos from Topaz AI as B-roll on a separate layer. Let me show you. So I'm recording this BTS in here, so I don't know if I can click off it, but so this is I'm just gonna mouse around. This is the soundtrack that I'm listening to now as I'm recording. Then this is the voiceover with the A-roll, which is here, and this layer here, that's the B-roll, and that's all those upscaled clips of the hand creatures. If you haven't seen the vein root video yet, I'll leave a link in the description below, and also in the card here somewhere up the top of the screen. Do you like this kind of behind the scenes feel? I hope this gives you an insight into the BTS and my thinking, my thought process behind doing what I do, why I do what I do. Do you want to see more of this? Do you like this direction? If you do, then give it a thumbs up. It's really encouraging, and I do read all your comments. Even if I can't reply to all of them, I see them, and I'll see you next time.